Okay, so we have this take, right? Now, one thing I was listening to, I noticed a thing. Correct me. When the women say it, we push back against it. When these white men say it, we say, are they wrong for saying it?
What?
I've seen us make sense of things, right? When I heard women say it about us, black men specifically. When the white men say it, it's like, well, was he wrong for saying it? You said the same thing earlier, etc. I've seen this. I found two clips, me and you doing it. Me and Miss Fantastic, sorry. You know? And then when the white boy says it about us not having homes, about our homes being fatherless, about us being overly violent, because they say all of us, we took it on the chin. Pause. Let me show you this. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. You remember this one? I'm gonna play it from the top. I think. Let me see. Because I mentioned the nominal first. So you think it was me or you think it was it? Good job, Playboy.
Can I address it, Hamp, I guess?
So here's the issue with what Fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let me do this. Let me get Flora and Aaron, if you don't mind. I think this is her first time on the panel. Flora, what's popping?
I lost my voice, so just give me. I have one thing to add here, and this is where interpreting stats, has to come into the conversation. You can't just read them out loud. And so here's the issue with what Fantastic is not getting is that it's not about what percentage of Black people are criminals. It's what percentage of murderers or deleters are actually Black, and why would you be comfortable overrepresenting that population? So that's all I had because my voice is gone, but you have to be able to interpret.
I don't think it's about being comfortable.
Hold on. Don't start that jumping in shit, please. You didn't even say hello this way.
Well, I always say hello to you last, but what's up, Hamp?
Yeah, good job, Playboy.
Can I address it, Hamp, I guess?
I just wanted to clarify your sentiment, Flora, that you pulled was that you thought there was a comfort level with overrepresenting that?
Yes, because every time it's brought up, the diversion is, oh, well, it's not the percentage of Black people, but it's why would you be comfortable as a male group being overrepresented in a statistic about the leaders?
Okay, and who do you think?
Smaller group of this country.
Like you said, overrepresentation. So, Flora, who do you think was most comfortable? Because I mentioned the nominal first. So you think it was me, or you think it was me, my Fantastic, and myself?
I mean, in general, I would say it was in response to what Fantastic was saying, because it just sounded very there was always a diversion to the whole group of Black people, but we're talking about the people who are actually doing the deleting. Why would you want to be comfortable overrepresenting that group when you're one of the smaller groups of men in this country? And I think that just it's very dismissive, and that's a big part of how Black men are viewed in this country.
So, Mr. Fantastic, let me go first real quick. I see what you're saying. I understand how it can be perceived because we actually complain when the women do it, right? Because it could feel or be perceived as a deflection, right? To downplay the fact that we still overrepresent, regardless of how small the murder, death, kills are. Murder, death, kill is murder, death, kill, right? Go ahead, Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, but I actually addressed that, and I even said I agree with Osa on a lot of those things. But being that Black men are made to be ultra and uber violent when it's not the case. And like you said, this is when you really do need to be more specific, Flora, like you said, about the rate, right?
That part, right? But these motherfuckers be saying it over and over and over, right? But that white boy got 50 million views while saying it and misconstruing information. And then we having conversations about where do white men overrepresent, and those conversations get ran over by well, why are we even talking about them, et cetera, et cetera. But now when she brings this up, we gonna push back against it. I'm the one that brought it up first, and then Mr. Fantastic got the microphone now.
So you have a smaller percentage of something, you're going to account for a larger rate just off your numbers alone, right? So when we really get down into it and you start looking at the numbers, okay, in comparison to, that is important because, again, now it takes away from that narrative that the majority of Black men are violent. That's why you have to get down and say, no, okay, well, there's 8,000, deletions, and there, let's say it's 6,000 perpetrators. Again, now you have to divide the 6,000 by the 20 some odd million black men that are there. That's less than 1% of black men are violent. That's what no one ever says. Everybody sticks on the, oh, you guys commit 56% of the murders. Okay, a few bad apples spoiled a whole bunch, and black men as a whole are always judged by the few bad apples. So no, it's not me dismissing anything. I agree with this, and I'm adamant about black on black crime being a real thing. But at the same time, in the sake of black men, I cannot let this black men are the abusers, which is not true. Black men are violent crimes and all these different things. But again, there's a small, very, very small percentage of black men that make up those large numbers. Same thing with the prison population. You put together the criminals and all this other stuff. That's less than 1% of black men, even at what 700,000 of them.
Yes. He cooked, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what would so this is why I say
we let them say it though.
Well, no, we don't. I mean, we purposely had a show we talked about not Charlie Kirk, but the other boy, the other white boy, Matt Walsh. We pushed back against a lot of these different things, and I think. Go ahead, my bad.
Well, do we is what I'm questioning, right? And maybe you and I have, right? But we also made sure to clear that shit up real quick with her right then. Well, but when these motherfuckers is saying, because I got 4 more videos, right? And again, it's a bigger thing, right? It's the white apologist thing, and we kind of making it colloquial, right? Because we're using it how we want it to, essentially. But I think that we defined it decently, right? But it's like the women will repeat the shit. We say, the fuck out of here. But then these white boys is saying it, and a motherfucker is saying, well, is it true? Well, is it false? We say, oh, look at the perversion in terms of the criminal acts they commit. What y'all talking about that for? When niggas is shooting each other. Because we assessing a threat. We assessing an archetype. So we can identify it. But we can't even get that shit off. Because it's always like, yo, what about such and such? What about the niggas doing drive-bys? When it don't even be the conversation. This one too, Mr. Fantastic. Let me show you. Let me see this one. Right? This one right here. Oh shit, my bad. This medium man, you came up a little bit later. It's been said. What we discussing here is the survey. Man, wow. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Have you saw? And it's been said, and I didn't do my due diligence to look at it, but they said it was self-reported that black men are the best fathers. We on this? Y'all know this one?
Yeah.
Did
you see that or hear that? Can you clarify where that comes from?
I definitely can. It came from the NSFG data survey. All these things are surveys, right? So when the statistics came out in regards to black men being the most involved, and it's everywhere. They just updated it in 2018, right? It's actually true. Black men did get surveyed, but it wasn't just black men. It was, white men. Everybody got surveyed, right? So they started to hear the feedback from people saying, hey, this is not true. Black men can't be the most involved. So what they did in 2018, they surveyed women. And guess who came back as being the most involved fathers? Black men. And I've done a video on this. You guys can see the report. It's on this website called Legacy, and then you follow the link and you can read it yourself. So every statistic, every survey, even black women said that black men were the most involved. And the way that I caught black women, in a sense, is because the same study that did the surveys for black men being the most involved was the same study that actually did the report that said that black women and white men were the most married. So if you're going to believe that, you got to believe this.
Shit like that.
He cooked, right? We use this, right? And then I'm just wondering, when the white boys say it, we say he right. We justify. Let me show you. How does this happen? Why is this happening in our minds, Mr. Fantastic? Where the white boys say it, we start fighting for the white boy. Well, is it true? Well, is it that? But then we refute what the women saying every time they say it, and they saying the same shit. They may say it a little bit more harshly, maybe. I don't even know, to be honest.
It's when there is none, just because of sound bites and clips.
I just want to correct this one thing.
What I'm looking at is me and you've been talking a lot. That's all.
Oh yeah, I got you.
And I'm just saying that Will was shaking his head when Beans was talking, so maybe his retort will be likened to yours. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
What up, Hap? What up, fellas?
What's goody?
What's going on with you, Sil?
Nothing much. God bless each and every last one of you. Hope you're all having a good day.
Bless you too. Bless you too.
Appreciate it. Charlie Kirk never said nothing racist since he's been speaking since 2012.
Say what now?
And I find it funny that a lot of people are just now finding offense when there is none, just because of sound bites and clips that's being posted. And it's funny that people have smoke for the things that he's saying that is directed towards the Black community. But the problem is he was being asked about the Black community. And a lot of things that he's saying about the Black community has been repeated since before he started talking and after he started talking in 2012. So why all of a sudden now we want to have smoke for the white boy? Because he's saying that the problem in the Black community is fatherless homes.
We the most involved though. Why the white boy get to say some shit? The women say we ain't taking care of our kids and shit like that. We say no, heifer. We the most involved fathers. Say women in a survey in 2019. Me, Mr. Fantastic, Sherelle, House of Hypocrites, right? Can y'all still hear me? Did the calculation based on married homes and based on fathers that are involved, right? I think the number, you remember that show, Mr. Fantastic, where we like went through all those numbers? I think we got to like 43% of our children actually don't have a father in their home. Something like that. You remember that show?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So we even did the calculations. Me, Mr. Fantastic, it was House of Hypocrites. We used like the Media Man information, and then Sherelle too, and Beans, and we literally broke it all the way down to which we all agreed. Oh, it's the minority homes that don't have a father. But when the white boys say it, we let this shit ride though. But when the women say it, we make sure we put them in a place. I'm just saying, right? And that's a part of it that I've noticed. But they using the same talking points, but we let the white boy get it off.
You got another clip? You got one more?
No, you can go.
Yeah, so I can tell you exactly the reason why, especially, the first individual that you had up there who called themselves the Naker Slayer. Again, Black women do this from within and purposely denigrate Black men to make Black men look bad. A lot of the time to cover up their own folly, right? So this is why you have to immediately, right? Because it's nothing worse than a fucking what do you call it? What's the term I'm looking for, Aaron? Not insubordinate, but a saboteur. Yeah, saboteur. Yeah, saboteur. A saboteur within your own ranks is the most deadly thing ever, Ham. So if you have your own women, right, the women that look like you, the women that birth your children the most, and all these different things, so on and so forth, go out here and repeat this fucking rhetoric, that is extremely problematic, and that needs to be fucking stomped down and out immediately. The white boy gonna say what the fuck he gonna say and what he think in the first place. And when we're talking about this, it's giving credence to or looking at how we're viewed from outside, not from within. So this is how and why there's always an immediate pushback for Black women talking down on Black men, because for one, you can't say nothing bad about Black women. We know this. Why you want to talk about the women? We're talking about the men. But a Black woman can get up here and say something that's just false on all fucking sides of the situation. And if you push back, then it's, whatever. So that's my take as to why and how it is, because I know at the same time, we definitely pushed back on several of these shows. Specifically, I know the fucking Walsh shit, Matt Walsh. We never talked about Charlie Kirk until Charlie Kirk died. So it was never a point of contention as to where we were basing something that he said and so on and so forth. And from my recollection. But and I know it was a good little run to where, a couple of shows might have talked about him for maybe a week or so, right? But outside of that, like I said, whenever there's a white boy, talking on black issues or whatever, that is more so the perception of white people to what black people are. And then we usually break that shit down and disprove it to my recollection.
Aaron?
I'm still processing it. This is a heavy one. I do believe that the context of the conversation does affect what people defend and how. I'm trying to break down. Well, yeah, I get the saboteur piece, but it still doesn't exonerate us from letting the white man just be footloose and fancy free with his assessment of us, if it's true or not. I mean, I'm sensing a lack of consistency for sure. I'm just still trying to process its origin and its validity. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just assessing it.
Yeah.
I think there's a barrier there. It's almost like we give him more credence, more credibility. It's like we sired him or some shit.
Yeah.
Like we see him saying it, so it must be true. And we just like don't check it for, is it a subconscious thing?
That's what I'm trying to weigh out. I'm trying to figure out how it fits in the context of different conversations, where it comes from. Is it a subconscious thing? That's the part that I'm hung up.
What you think, Miss Mental? I'm bugging?
No, I don't. Again, from the conversations that are had and the opinions of white people on the black community or black criminality, black families, so on and so forth, that's an outside opinion. It's not us just letting it rock. Because like I said, we for sure always bring it up and say black men are the most involved fathers. So if we're going to use, I know for a fact we use that on both sides, be it black women, white men, or whoever, so on and so forth, right? Like I said, me specifically, I talked about the whole Matt Walsh situation. That's where he was clearly pushing. He was totally different from what Charlie Kirk was, where he was just being blatant to the point of where he's trying to possibly push some sort of race war shit, right? And I talked about this more than once. But I think in the midst of conversation, if you're going to assess and ask the question why, that'll make you an apologist. Why are they looking at it this way? Why are they seeing it this way? Is it racist? Is this again propaganda that black women are pushing? Because if black women are number one saying what ain't, can't, don't, won't, these niggas don't take care of their kids. They left. So that's what I'm saying. So is it being a white apologist, or is it actually trying to figure out, well, where are they getting this? Is this just a racist ideology that they're manifesting in their own heads? Or is it coming from what they're listening to, what the women are saying within, the mothers of the children, and then just looking at the single mother stat, right? Because if you just look at the single mother stat and it's 73% single mothers, they're not even thinking about co-parenting and these other things. And then you couple that with the loudest voices of black women say niggas ain't shit and don't take care of their kids. Well, where'd they get the idea from? And I think that's a fair fucking question to ask if you really want to walk it down and have the conversation.
Mr. Williams, what's goody? So I'm just thinking.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
This how I see, right, Mr. Fantastic? The women aren't formidable opponents. I understand the rhetoric and they loud and all that, right? And I know that it's almost like they try to put them over us and shit like that. I understand, right? But the formidable opponent is my male counterpart that drops a video and get 1 million views. We ain't at that point yet. All right, most high willing. But that's the person I'd rather contend with. I understand why you address it, right? But then to over pursue it makes less sense to me. But when the white boy's saying it and misconstruing information and using facts and statistics how they want to, and he can get 1 million views, right? I'm not going to justify that, gloss over it, or ask, well, why you say that, white man? Because it's the same bullshit regardless of who's saying it. You know?
No, I agree with it being the same. But like you said, the impact of it is, and what needs to happen is you're either going to have to have the conversation and have a response to that person of being like, hey, you know what? Oh shit,
Yeah.
you know, this isn't factual. This is wrong. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that and then if they don't, or they keep pushing the rhetoric once it's been presented, shout out to Media Man. Media Man just did another video about the violence, saying the same shit that I said. Less than 1% of black men are violent, bro. And especially we're talking about you know, deletions, right? So like I said, people don't understand stats. So you know, y'all corrected me. I had to start saying it right, because you know it's not 73% of black women aren't single mothers. It's 73% of women that are mothers are single mothers. You feel me? So when you say shit like that, it's the verbiage at times matters because people really don't understand the stats and they just take it for face value of what you say.
Yeah, word is born. The well, yeah, let me get Mr. Williams, what you think?
Perfect. I want to ask, Fantastic, do you respect white men more than you respect black women?
Why would I do that?
Because it just seems to me like a white man can walk in a room and call us all niggas, and then would you touch him first, or would I get to him first?
What are you saying? Oh, so who would beat him up first, or who would do something to him physically for saying the N-word?
White man came into the room with all four of us and called us niggas. Would you jump first before my crippled ass does?
Yeah, it would definitely be a very bad situation for him if he said it to me. Yes, I've never had a white man bold enough to do that in my adulthood. It was just one old crippled dude, but I was in a car and he was old and he hobbled off, and everybody kept me from, like, you know. But yeah, so again, this is why I say now we back to this thing of where my blackness is being questioned because I have principles that I stand on.
Blackness is just even that night when we had that one panel, man, y'all was just, oh well, we say it. No, they can't say what we say. They not black, man. They don't get away with saying that shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I never said that though. I don't say that because I'm vehemently against white people saying the N-word. I've said this several times where I've gotten into arguments with younger cats because they think it's okay. The younger generation think it's okay for white boys to say nigga, not me. I'm born in the 80s. I'm from Georgia. But white boys wouldn't dare when I was a kid, right? When I was coming up. That I still play by those rules. Let me address your direct question. Do I respect white men more than black women? Clearly not. No. no, I don't. The answer is simple and plain.
You know, me and you agree on like 80%, maybe 85% of what you say. I just think it's some certain topics that me and you will bump heads every now and then on. It's just
it just is what it is. I am a strong believer in the fact of the matter is one of the biggest issues and problems is that the black woman can't be talked about, and the black woman can't never be held accountable or properly assessed, right? And simply because I'm saying that, just like even this breakdown, I'm saying it, right? Black women will purposely get out here despite knowing the stats, despite knowing these things. Oh, who made the stats up? Or where'd you get that from? Well, black women said it. So even stuff that's solidified by black women, stats that are provided by black women saying that black men are the most involved fathers, black women will deny it for the sake of making black men look bad. And again, to cover up the shit where they fucking up at. We get the term deadbeat mom don't even exist in the black community, and it definitely should. So my problem is we need to fix everything from within before we start looking outside. We're never going to be able to get. I'm with HAMP. Formidable opponents are very, very important. We're talking about man versus woman. Clearly, the man is more the threat and so on and so forth. But when we look at this in totality, right, this is a racial thing. This ain't just a black man versus the white man. This is black people versus white people. So, and what we know the white man got is the white woman, no matter what the fuck she say in public and do all this shit and so and so, at the end of the day, she gonna fall in line behind that motherfucking white man. She gonna support that white man 10,000%. Black women, on the other hand, and I wish I had the thing, I'm on my phone though, but black women are literally in fucking chats talking to confirmed white supremacists and KKK members, to where the white boys are flummoxed. The white boys are like, well, what do you want? What do you want black men to do? If somebody got that, man, if one of the mods got that with just that, what's the name, put it in the chat so Hamp can play it. Like I said, I'm on my phone, I can't do it. But Hamp, this happened, bro. And that's what and because y'all, you know what I'm saying, y'all aren't manosphere, y'all aren't anti, BWE and all this different shit and anti-divester. So y'all are really unaware of a lot of the extreme shit, bro. That these white boys ain't got shit on these divestors, bro, and these BWE chicks. I'm telling, but when we bring it up, we ain't talking about that. Why y'all want it? Well, again, this is what I'm saying. So until we fix that problem internally, we're never gonna be able to fight nothing externally, bro. Because it has to be, a house divided cannot stand, and that's the problem that's going on in the black community that most black men aren't even aware of in the first place.
Like, share, subscribe, tell